Welcome to another episode of the Tech Behind FinTech. Happy Friday. I'm your host, Nnamdi Osuagwu, bringing you the latest, some articles that we found interesting in the FinTech side. I think we have three today. I think we're going to do probably a quick show today. Let me go to my comments, have that on, have some background things going on. It's always a pleasure to be here hosting the Tech Behind FinTech. You can catch us on our website, techbehindfintech.com. I'll put it in our comments. This show is brought to you by Strategic Generation, our wonderful sponsor. Let me also add our little banner on below. Okay, cool. We have the date, we got the sponsor. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. Let's have to jump into today's news events. Let me get that queued up while we wait. Some interesting stuff going on. Going to talk about a new bank that signed a partnership deal with Google Cloud. That's going to be the first thing we're going to cover. Give me a second. I will pull it up right now. Everything's connecting. The APIs are connecting to another API, and we're getting that kicked off. Thank you for patience. Wait, let's see what we can do right here. Like to have slide deck available while we talk about it, so we can kind of literally paint the picture. All right, cool. It's processing now. Hope all is well for everyone, though. Seriously, man, I really like checking in with you guys on a weekly basis for this show. I think today's our 62nd show. All right, let's add that to the stream. Okay, great. First article of the day. KeyBank taps Google Cloud and Deloitte to become the first cloud-first lender. Found this article very interesting. I mean, in general, so GCP, Google Cloud, is one of the major three public cloud providers. You know, on that list, you have AWS, you have Azure, and of course GCP. Those are the three big market leaders, of AWS taking a bulk of that market share. So, you know, just to give some background before we get into the article, if you look at it like, 10 years ago, for banks going to the cloud, relatively unheard of. Maybe like 2010, 9, unheard of. It took a while for this adoption to happen, right? Really, mainly security risk. They want to keep all of their data and software on prem and their servers on prem. So what does that mean? When we say the term on prem, that means on premises. It's a shortened way of saying that. And over the last few years, we see the shift to cloud, where a lot of these legacy systems, they're figuring out ways to migrate and bring it to the cloud. So what does that all mean now? Look, at the end of the day, when you look at traditional banks, I think KeyBank's been around for 200 years, right? So you look at traditional banks, they are literally having it's a term they use, their lunch eaten by fintechs. You think about fintechs, these are startups. They're cloud first, right? Economies of scale, just more services you can leverage, faster deployments, and so forth. So you're seeing a shift in which a lot of these incumbents are figuring out ways. Okay, how do we now start migrating to the cloud so we can leverage these services, right? We don't have to necessarily build a lot of in-house stuff. We can leverage Google's AI and data services and hook it to our platform so that we can give more to our customers. So I wanted to paint that background before we actually dive into the article to understand, what's happening in the industry and why you're seeing these types of shifts. So, all right, going into the article now, what are we talking about? US-based KeyBank has formed a multi-year partnership with Google Cloud and Deloitte to further its cloud-first approach banking. So, usually when these situations, they bring in consulting firms to assist with that process, to assist their staff, and presumably some of the firms they bring in, they'll bring in specialists in this space to help manage, and also some of the technical capabilities combined with their staff to help with that sort of migration. The partnership will enable KeyBank to migrate its primary platforms and applications on Google Cloud infrastructure, as we just talked about. The move will transform the way lender develops, operationalizes, and delivers its services to clients, partners, and teammates. Um, I'm interested to understand why they chose Google Cloud. Like, what was some of the decision factors for Google Cloud versus Azure versus AWS? That's of interest. KeyBank plans to move the majority of its products and services to Google Cloud by 2025. That's huge. So they're also saying KeyBank will leverage Google's Cloud's data solutions and artificial intelligence technologies to offer a more personalized digital banking experience. This is expected to help the lender in meeting customer requirements fast and secure. So look at the word faster. Like I said, you have, if you think about some of the payment solutions that you may use in your apps, things are fast, things are quick, and these banks are struggling to keep up. So I think this is a major move for them. The lender's partnerships with Google Cloud builds on its adoption of Google's multi and hybrid cloud management platform, Anthos. So so Anthos and Kubernetes. So Kubernetes is their container orchestration that outside of Google, a lot of different providers use that. It's pretty much ubiquitous at this point. So Anthos is their unified management infrastructure. Sometimes you'll see situations where you have a hybrid cloud approach. What does that mean? So it's not just using one public cloud. They could have an AWS or an Azure, or a combination of the both in a hybrid cloud approach. Um, not They didn't really dictate that they'll use that yet, but that they have the capabilities to do so. So that's our first article. Let me see if there are any comments on that. Pretty straightforward. Cool. Let's move on to our second one of the day. Oh no, before we move on, I'm sorry. So just want to kind of paint the picture on what we're seeing here, right? Um, we have the market share in terms of the worldwide cloud infrastructure market share. This was last year, mind you. And this is just only, I think, in the US, but as you can see, AWS has a third of the public cloud market share in the US. Next up to this was of last year. I mean, numbers obviously slightly change year to year. Um, 19% goes to Microsoft Azure, 7% goes to Google Cloud. They really have a small piece of the overall market share. 42%, they just a group of others. That's just so funny. If you're part of the others, that's life, I guess. But these are the three major players. So they account for 58% of the total cloud spend in Q1 of 2021. So cool. What's going on next? So next article found wildly interesting, right? Ransomware. So essentially, I mean, we have you know what I didn't do? I did a really, I'm gonna say cool because I'm biased, obviously, but I did a really cool video on ransomware a minute ago. Like maybe, oh, so when I say a minute, I don't. So it's when we say a minute, take me back to the '90s and my friends. It's not literally a minute, but it's a while. So a while ago, and just going through the whole ransomware situation. But a lot of these ransomware payments are made using crypto. So when someone takes control of your infrastructure and demands some sort of ransom to unlock it, they get paid in crypto. In the majority of cases, I don't know of another case. I don't know other cases, but they don't because it's digital money, and so forth. So they just try to handle the transactions like that. So Chain Analysis is a blockchain analysis firm. They payments hit a record high of 602 million last year, And this, they said this number is conservative. That should be expected to grow as they get more data. Some people don't report. Some companies don't report the payments they made. They keep it on the low, so they don't really talk about it. But essentially, yeah. So that's a huge number of ransomware payments. There were some notes I want to have for this that I want to kind of go through actually. So yeah, they said the value is likely to end up surpassing 692 million because that was taken in 2020. The average ransomware payment size reached a record high of 118,000 in 2021. So that's just one payment. This is a 26% increase from the average 88,000 in 2020. So it was just, and that's what we talked about. I mean, it was a video I previously did. It wasn't part of the Tech Behind FinTech. It was more so an actual informational video on ransomware during remote working. Somewhere on my LinkedIn profile. It's a while ago though. But yeah, so the number's going to keep increasing, and we see it, right? So since 2020, you have a 26% increase, right? During it hit highs when everyone was on lockdown, and then all of a sudden now we see it year over year increasing. We're going to see more of it. Hence why security is of the utmost importance. And look, security tip of the day: update your software. I mean, this is like it's like something we preach about. Low hanging fruit. Seriously, uh, this is not part of our article listing, but Zoom just came out with a vulnerability on your client side. If it's not updated, I think the microphone can be accessed after a meeting is done, and it's simple fix. Literally, go to the client and go to about or wherever it says software. This is update the client to the latest. I mean, if you keep all of your software that you use past the latest version, usually if a vulnerability comes out, this is a 0-day attack, right? You can protect yourself. So that's just very important. Back to the article, pardon the sidetrack. So Conti was the most active ransomware strain in 2021. It siphoned off nearly 200 million in value through cryptocurrency in 2021. It's thought to be based in Russia. It's a ransomware syndicate that sells its program as a service to affiliates for a fee. So that's more so ransomware for a fee. DarkSide came in a distant second to Conti by extracting nearly 100 million in crypto value. DarkSide is the organization that held the Colonial Pipeline hostage last year and demanded ransom to be paid in Bitcoin. Remember the Colonial Pipeline? That was huge, a huge attack. So yeah, I mean, people money is definitely being made by these illegal entities. Um, Chain analysis concluded that while most ransomware attacks are financially motivated, others appear to have geopolitical goals, focused on deception, espionage, reputational damage, and disruption of enemy governments' operations. So that now we start talking about nation states. When we talk about a nation state actor, that means there's a government entity actually um, they're the actual malicious actor right there. They're making they're going about. It's not a criminal organization. It's a nation state, and nation states have huge a plethora of resources at their disposal. North Korea has been repeatedly used crypto to circumvent economic sanctions for years. Right. So that is that. Let's see if we have any other comments going on. Okay, I don't see anything. But happy Friday. Oh, you know what? Take this break to post our website because that's always important. You can watch the show live on our website. So we stream to YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, and I think on our website you can also let me post that link for you guys. You can also watch the show live from there. So that's pretty cool. And I'm going to put it on the screen right now. That's the techbehindfintech.com. Yep, catch us there. All right, cool. What is the next articles? Wonder if there any comments, questions? Okay, I don't think we have any right now, which is fine. Cool. Let's skedaddle to the next one. Oh yeah, cool. This was a chart. So what's interesting about this chart was it's the total cryptocurrency value received by ransomware from 2016 to 21. The increase is crazy. So, years ago with ransomware, it was you see a dollar in crypto and it just starts going up, 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 up until 2017. Well, no, I'm sorry, it's not that's in the millions, my bad. Um, but it keeps, yeah, sorry about that, guys. It's in the millions actually. All right, so but it's interesting to see how it just kept creeping up over the years, um, yeah, 2017 when crypto went high and it went back down. Then boom, 2019, and then 2020 during the lockdown explosion. So yeah, this number in 2021, I think that's just what they gathered, but it's gonna get higher. Yeah, my bad on that. It's not everybody's getting a dollar in ransomware. It's like definitely a million. It's funny. All right, cool. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next. So this was interesting, right? So that's been like the news. Sustainable Bitcoin is taking up way too much energy. People are talking out about it, and we did a show on it last year. You can go on into our website or YouTube channel, which there's links on our website. You can find the episode where we talked about that. And Chigozi Iwu, yeah, he was the guest when we were going into the sustainability aspect of it. So Norway, this is where a mining company, right? They're using the excess energy to heat dry wood. Fascinating. So let's kind of go over this, right? This is really cool. So in general, Norway is renew they're like the main spot for renewable energy in Europe, right? They as much of as 99% of Norway's energy derives from hydropower, while the grid often enjoys a green energy surplus. So what is hydropower? That was one of the questions I had when I was going through this article. It's basically water power. So it's the use of falling or fast running water to produce electricity or to power machines. This is achieved by converting the gravitational potential or kinetic energy of a water source to produce power. Hydropower is a method of sustainable energy production. Okay, totally fascinating. Um, so the company is called Crypto Vault. Um, their CEO told I got this article from Cointelegraph that Norway is an ideal location for mining, and that alongside the log drying operations, seaweed drying operations will kick off in the first half of 2022. Totally fascinating. Um, so they asked the question: can Bitcoin be sustainable? The general manager of a timber company out there, he receives the dry logs, answered the question in the video. He said that the drying wood with waste heat from Bitcoin mining is the most environmentally friendly way to do this. Pretty fascinating stuff. Um, when asked by Cointelegraph if Crypto Vault would consider mining other cryptocurrencies, they're saying for us, Bitcoin is the name of the game. I don't know too much about I'm not more on the technology side. First time actually even going into hydropower and all that mind-blowing stuff. But I'm really interested in the sustainability of mining and what they're doing out there. I mean, I don't know if it can just set a pathway for other countries and other facilities, but it's definitely interesting. This article actually, I'm going to post for you guys because I think it's fascinating. Um, Well, let me get it and I'll post it right now for everyone. 1 second. Let me post this article to you guys because it's like totally interesting. Things I come across and I'm like, this fascinated by it. I'm like, wow, guys are doing some really cool stuff. My area of specialty expertise, but like I said, I'm fascinated by it. Um, just the idea, like you mean even outside of Bitcoin per se or mining, just renewable energy in general, like using water, the gravitational pull from water to like give energy, and that powers 99% of your country. That's interesting. All right, we have a comment. I love comments. Wait, before we do the comment, let me just say this is the article that I just posted. So you guys, if you're watching this on repeat, you can pause it. Okay, let's go into the comment. It's a LinkedIn user. I mean, like, oh, it's Medina, one of our loyal viewers. All right, let's see what she's saying. By the way, what's up, Medina? How are you doing today? Happy Friday. All right, crypto tax the environment heavily. Same thing with cloud computing. Takes a lot of water resources to cool computers, takes away from local communities. Yeah, look, it was an interesting point that agreed, right? Interesting point. When we did this episode last year, and one of the our guests at the time mentioned, okay, what about we have a carbon tax on cars? I mean, it's interesting. The more things that we seem to utilize takes energy. So I guess it's just a constant push to find innovative ways to work around that or to make things more sustainable. I mean, you start looking at gas guzzling cars and what they're doing with electric cars right now. So that's part of the process. But totally agree with your put that comment back. Totally agree with what you're saying. I just think that the challenge is to find innovative ways to um, make it sustainable. All right, so let's think that's our last article of the day. Let's see if there are any more questions before we take off for the weekend. Um, I'm gonna wait for a second because sometimes what happens, I end the show and then people like start commenting. So yeah, no, found today's those articles interesting. Really always curious to the analysis or the way people with the first article in the cloud computing like that. Okay, we're going to go with GCP versus this cloud company and so forth. Always find that interesting. Ransomware, obviously, that's huge. So those numbers over the years from 2011 to now adding up, very interesting. And the sustainable energy. So with what they're doing in Norway. So those are the topics that kind of researched this today on this weekend. Was like, okay, let's talk about it. I don't think there's any other comments. Medina, thanks for your comment. Always appreciate the feedback and the interaction for sure. So I think on that note, we shall end it for the day. Listen, thanks for viewing the Tech Behind FinTech. If you viewed live, thank you. If you watch this next month or next year, I'm thanking you in advance. It's out there. It's on once again our website. Let me put our website on display. Website is the techbehindfintech.com. Catch us there every week, Friday, 12 p.m. EST. You can watch us live when we talk about technology and fintech, bringing you some news about it and also some guest appearances. I know even though this year we didn't have a guest yet, but we're soon going to start embarking on that. But regardless of which, we are here every Friday at 12 p.m. EST. Listen, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful and have a great weekend. Make it phenomenal. Cheers.